System Shock 2 is a classic. In fact, it is more than that. It is legendary. A monumental immersive sim that has stood the test of time. And on the year of its 25th anniversary, Night Dive Studios has released their remaster of the game. And this remaster makes it an even better experience that is an absolute must-play. Stranded aboard the starship Von Braun, the player must contend with the Many, a collective hive mind of fleshy alien creatures that have overtaken the ship, and, of course, the rogue AI with a god complex, Shodan. A beautiful blend of RPG mechanics with first-person combat, System Shock 2 has the player start the game by picking one of three character classes: Marine, Navy Sailor, and OSA Agent. Marines specialize in anything pertaining to basic combat skills, while the Navy focuses on technical skills like hacking. Meanwhile, the OSA focuses on psionic abilities. What follows is a brief section of training and specific skills of the player's choosing, which allows the player to further build what type of character they want to play as. However, and what is great about this game, is that this build can be further expanded upon or significantly altered freely due to System Shock's level of freedom that it grants the player in deciding however they wish to spend their cyber modules, which are essentially the game's upgrade currency. For me, I went down the Navy path and focused on hacking, strength, standard weapons, and heavy weapons. This allowed me to gain access to all security crates, which contain vital resources like ammunition, health items, and nanites, another form of currency, and upgrading my abilities with standard weapons and heavy weapons allowed me to use pistols, shotguns, grenade launchers, and the awesome fusion cannon to their fullest potential. Improving strength is very useful as well, because this increases your inventory space and lets you deal more damage with melee weapons like the wrench or the bizarre yet powerful crystal shard, which is a great way to save ammo. In fact, that's another big part of System Shock 2. This game can really keep you on edge at times, largely due to the fact that ammo can be quite sparse. Every bullet counts, and exploration is key to maintaining a decent supply. Most enemies can also do a bunch of damage, and this further adds to the intensity. That is why utilizing the game's mechanics, like leaning around corners and utilizing cover, is extremely important, as is using the right ammo for the job. For instance, robotic enemies go down much quicker from armor-piercing rounds, while fleshy enemies go down quickly with anti-personnel rounds. There's a lot to think about while playing this game, but it all becomes almost second nature the deeper you get into the experience. I found myself listening for the buzzing hum of security cameras so that I could anticipate them and destroy them quickly, as security cameras spotting you can initiate a flood of enemies to come your way over a set amount of time, which can cost you a significant amount of ammo and health items. Speaking of enemies, the enemies of System Shock 2 are iconic. You have your zombie-like hybrids, cyborg midwives, cyborg assassins, psionic monkeys, robots, parasitic grubs, giant spiders, turrets, and the massive rumbler. A mixture of grotesque cyborgs, robots, and disgusting alien life is quintessential System Shock, and it's all here. Going back to the topic of character builds, there are just so many ways to play this game. For instance, I completely ignored the psionic abilities and didn't even have to worry about using psi-hypos for this reason. But if you do choose to go down this path, this opens up so many opportunities that would completely change the experience from the route I chose to take on this most recent playthrough. With psi powers, you can even lean heavily into a stealthier playstyle if you so choose. Switching to the topic of atmosphere and presentation, System Shock 2 is a visual and auditory masterclass. For me, I prefer to play with the music off so that I can get immersed with the many sounds of the ship and its hostile inhabitants. The beeping of computer systems, the grating of machinery, and several moments of near silence come together with fantastic lighting to create a game world that is top tier.
I believe the plans that many have for me are greater than I even imagined. The change is upon me, that the path is more glorious than we imagined. It does not stop at a mere single mutation. The form I've been promised is more beautiful than even that. They tell me I will float through the air and strike at the foes of our biomass with my mind. With our mind. My cup runneth over.
I also must commend the work that Night Dive has done in this remaster, as the new character and weapon models look great, with their high level of detail, as do the sharpened textures, which look beautiful and crisp. The visuals were greatly improved, while the art style has been maintained. There were even new reload animations added to several of the weapons, which also enhances the level of immersion. One also cannot talk about System Shock 2 without speaking on the story and the writing. I won't go into too much detail for those who haven't played the game yet, but I will say that the writing is great, and the twist that occurs about halfway through the game is awesome. The audio logs that can be found throughout the game also do a great job at world building, and the voice acting is great. It's honestly the type of voice acting that you just don't get that much of these days, with all of these modern games that are plagued by millennial writing. Going back to System Shock 2 is definitely a breath of fresh air for this reason, among, obviously, many other very good reasons. Shodan, specifically, is such an incredible character, and she might be my favorite villain across all of fiction. Not just video games, all of fiction. She is written so well, and Terry Brosius plays her so perfectly, it's almost unbelievable.
The Polito form is dead, insect. Are you afraid? What is it you fear?
The end of your trivial existence. When
the history of my glory is written, your species shall only be a footnote to my magnificence.
Shodan is also such a great character due to the fact that while most AI are portrayed as cold and emotionless in science fiction, Shodan comes off as insane and power-hungry. even outright stating her desire to be a god in the first game. I also love the dynamic of the player and Shodan as basically frenemies in this sequel, as they begrudgingly have to work together, which was certainly not the case in the first game. Spoiler warning. The many are a creation of Shodan, annelids that were created by her in an artificial grove on Citadel Station, a grove that was jettisoned with the inhabitants then prospering and evolving on a near world. They are a symptom of her god complex, and they are an entity that would come back to bite her in the ass this time around, as Shodan and the many fight for control of the Von Braun and the UNN Rickenbacker. While combat in System Shock 2 isn't anything special, the combination of combat with story, atmosphere, and all of the other systems at work in this game come together to create an incredible experience. System Shock 2, much like Deus Ex, is a sum of its parts type of game. It is a fascinating game world that is punctuated by how deep it really is as long as you care to dig past the surface. It is certainly hardcore and can be quite punishing at times, but that's just part of what makes it so great. This game does not hold your hand. It respects you as a player, even when Shodan might state otherwise. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to like and subscribe, and dislike it if you absolutely hated it. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. And if you haven't already, go play System Shock and System Shock 2. Insect.